Hey everyone, so before we begin with our video, we would like to make a small request. Kindly subscribe to our channel and like the video if it helps you, and also share it with your friends who may benefit from the same.
Hey guys, how's it going? In the first part, I talked about multiplication of vectors, so I'll take it from there. So I'll get straight into MATLAB. So I cleared the workspace as well as the command window using clear and CLC. So clear clears up the workspace and CLC clears all the commands from the command window. So, so previously what I was doing was multiplying a row vector and a column vector. Sorry, because the dimensions don't match. Yeah. So this gives the inner product. Conversely, if suppose we put the column vector in the beginning, so we see that we get a matrix. So this is an outer product. So there's another way of getting an outer product by using a function called BSXFUN. So I'll shortly tell you what it exactly does. So we see that we get the same result, which gives an outer product of a matrix. And even if we reverse the order, so we see that we get the same result. So what exactly is the BSXFEN function? So it performs element by element operations and you supply a function name. So in this case, it's at times performs multiplication and the two inputs are a row vector and a column vector. So the output is a 2 cross 2 matrix. So as you can see here, so I'll move on to multiplication of a matrix with a vector. So let me clear this up. So let's take a row vector and multiply with a matrix. So we see that we get a row vector of dimensions 1 cross 3. So one row having 3 entries. So what if we add an extra row? So we see that the dimensions, it shows that there are incorrect dimensions. So for the multiplication to occur, it should always satisfy this rule. The number of rows of the first matrix should equal to the number of columns of the second. So in this case, so as you can see here, this has one row and and two entries or columns, and this one has two rows and three entries or columns. So the number of so in this case it's 1 cross 2, and in this case it's 2 cross 3. So it has to. Let's take a row vector 1 comma 2 and a matrix. So we see that we get a row vector having three entries or three columns. So it's 1 cross 3. So what if we add an extra row? So we see that it doesn't multiply and shows an error message saying incorrect dimensions. So we see that whenever for multiplication to occur, this condition should be satisfied. So the number of columns or entries in the first matrix or vector should equal to the number of rows in the second matrix or vector. So in this case, so to illustrate this, Yeah. So if you see B and C, so we see that it has one row and two columns or two entries, and C has two rows and three columns or entries. So it, so the number of columns or entries in the first matrix or vector should equal to the number of rows in the second with which you are multiplying with. So this should always satisfy, or else it would show an error. It should show an error message saying incorrect dimensions. Let's take a row vector, so 1 comma 2, and a matrix. So we see that we get a row vector having three entries. So what if we do add an extra row in the second in the matrix? So we see that we get an error message saying incorrect dimensions. So 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 the basic condition for now I'll show you the multiplication of a column vector with a matrix. So unlike the previous case, the matrix should come first, followed by the column vector. So we see that we get a column vector of dimensions 2 cross 1, that is two rows having one entry each or just one column. So what happens to get this result is, so 1 into 1 plus 2 into 2 plus 3 into 3, so which gives 14, and 4 into 1 plus 2 into 5 plus 3 into 6, which gives 32. Now what if we add an extra row here? So we see that unlike the previous case where we got an error, so we got a new column vector having dimensions 3 cross 1, which is three rows and one column. So that does that mean it's the condition need not be satisfied? No. See, think again. So to illustrate this, to make it simpler for you to understand, so this is the matrix and this is the column vector. So B and C. So we see that the number of entries or columns is equal to the number of rows in the column vector. So that's why the multiplication is happening. So if suppose we change the matrix to add another column, so we get 3 cross 3. So but it's still satisfying the condition of the number of entries or columns equal to the number of rows in the column vector. To get this result, so an additional entry, so an additional row of having entry 50 is there. So how has that come? So it's nothing but 7 into 1 plus 2 into 8 plus 3 into 9. So the net result would be 50. So this will help you understand how the process of data entry it affects the output in MATLAB. Now I'll move on to multiplying two matrices. So the same rule applies. So let's take a matrix one of dimensions 2 cross 3, or let's make it a little harder. So 3 cross 3. So we see that the resulting matrix has 3 rows and 2 columns are entries. So let's see if the same rule of multiplication applies here. So I'll take the individual matrices. So for your understanding, I'm breaking it into chunks and showing that the rule still applies here. So we see that again it's 3 rows and 3 columns and 3 rows and 2 columns. So we see that this and this is matching, which is so the number of columns of the first is matching is equal to the number of uh, rows in the second. So number of columns of the first is equal to the number of rows of the second. So this is the rule of multiplying any two matrices or vectors. We get this result by it's nothing but 1 into 1 plus 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5, which gives 22. And 1, we get this result in this way. So it's nothing but 1 into 1 plus 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5. So which gives the first entry 22. And now, so it's nothing but the multiplication of the first row and the column. So each of the individual elements, so 1 into 1 plus 2 into 3, 2 into 3 plus 3 into 5. So similarly for the second case, so for the second uh, element 49, so it's nothing but 4 into 1 plus 5 into 3 plus 6 into 5, which gives 49. And for 76, 7 into 1 plus 8 into 3 plus 9 into 5. So repeat the same process to get 28, 64, and 100. So it's a row multiplied with a column, which gives this result. Now let's see how to divide two vectors. So MATLAB will produce an output if you try to divide two vectors. So let's see. So if suppose we take a row vector, so we see that we actually get a result. So likewise, you could try typing. So this is, let's see how to divide two vectors. So let's take, so I'm performing right division. So you see that we get a result. So 1 cross 1. Now what if we do left division? So we see that we get this result 2 cross 2. So while the output isn't useful, it's interesting at best, but in general, there's no real applications for this. So now I'll move on to matrix division. So dividing a vector by a scalar. So let's take a vector. So we get that. So I'm performing right division here. So it's 1 by 4, 2 by 4, and 3 by 4. So which gives this. So what if we do left division? So we see that we get we get an output completely irrelevant to what we want. So instead we can do this. So now we'll get the same result. So this is left division and this is right division. We can also divide a matrix with a vector. When dividing a matrix by a vector, so defining the sort of result you want to see is important. So most people want to perform an element by element division. So whenever you want to perform something element by element, so the BSX function comes into play. So I'll show you how it's done. So I'll clear this.